Hello, lovelies. Welcome to 2022 of Let's Heal Together. It was like, know who you are, accept the problem, move on. And it's still true. But then here I am, a year down the line, dealing with something else that's bigger. And I'm like, okay, know who I am. Accept the emotion. It comes from a different place. It comes from a different moment, and it hits a little bit different because it's like, okay, so this is for real. This healing thing is, you got to really heal here. You got to really move forward. You got to really live beyond the hurt.
Okay, let me tell. My hat's coming off my head.
Don't
girl.
let it come off, Jeff. Don't let it come off.
Okay. So, I'm not an emotional person. I don't think I am. When I'm by myself, I am. And if I get emotional with my sister. She's the only person that I truly talk to and share literally all of my craziness. And I can be very crazy. But my whole family knows I'm crazy, because I don't keep anything in.
No.
I don't.
It just goes from here.
It comes from here to here, out. And the reason why I'm like this is because many years ago, I used to hold a lot of stuff in. Remember? Until one day I exploded. And the explosion was so bad that it was bad. So after that, I said, no, Pat, you can't live like that. You have to tell people. So I believe in, if me and you have an issue, I'm going to tell you about my issue with you. I don't care if you're friends, this, that. I do this with the people at work. Like one day, one of my friends had another problem. It's a group of us. One had an issue with another one. And she said something about my friend. Now, I've been friends with her longer. And she said something about my friend. And I'm like, I felt like I just cheated on my friend. If you don't feel these things, check yourself. See if you're a real friend. Because if you don't feel that, you're not. I promise you, you're not. I felt like something was burning me. And I listened to everything she had to say. And I nicely told her. I said, I've been friends with her for 3 years. And I said, she's like a sister to me. And I said, yeah, most of the things that you are saying is right about her. And she was right. But I don't talk about my friends. Ever. I said, she know exactly how I feel. You want to know why? Go ask her. I told her. I said, the same respect I'm going to give you as a new friend, I'm never going to talk about you. It just made me think like, dag, if I was out of the room, she would talk about me too. So I made sure I let her know who I was. I said, I'm not that person. And I said, why don't you tell her? Tell her how you feel. I said, sometimes people don't know they're coming off rough and crazy and psychotic. I said, tell her how you feel. I tell her this all the time. I said, you're being crazy. And you know what? She goes from 1,000 to about 800. And then she dropped to about 200. And then she started laughing. And then me and her laughed together. Like, how you laughing? I'm like, ha, ha, hell. And I said, that was not good. I said, you don't do that. So we built this bond. She's like my sister. And I've never felt like that with any friends. Is she crazy? Hell yeah. But until anyone show me who they are, I'm going to treat you good.
Yes.
I'm not going to sit behind your back, talk stories about you. I'm not that person. When I was 18 years old, yes. But I'm 44. I got 4 kids. I don't, my kids can tell you, I don't just sit and talk about people behind your back. No. Because I don't want them to grow like that.
No.
Whatever you don't want for people or you don't want for yourself, don't do it to other people. Do people talk about me? Yes. And I've learned recently that people really talk about me. No.
To really talk about you.
Really? Like for 20 years.
Not 20 years.
And I'm thinking we're good friends.
Not the good friends, Lord.
And they've been talking about me for 20 years.
Jesus.
And in my heart of hearts, I'm mad about that. But in my heart of hearts, I knew they were like that. But I never caught them, right? So I couldn't say anything. But now that I know, do I hate them? No, I don't. You want to know why? It says this something of flesh. It's going to fail you. It's going to fail you. We are people. If I live my life hating every flipping person that talk about me in life, I'm going to hate everybody. You got to learn to forgive. Yeah. I decided I had to tell Patrice, yes, they talked about you. They hurt you. I talked about many people. Forgive people. Move on. You know, and I pray for these people. I pray that they find peace. I pray their kids find peace. Because in this life, I don't care what you got. I don't care what kind of car you drive. You got to have peace. Okay? You got to have peace. And that's what I strive for this year alone. You ever say, drink me water and mind my business. Mind my business. Drink me water and mind my business. Mind my business. That's my goal this year. I'm going to drink my water, spray my perfume, and mind my business. Yes. Mind the business that God gave me. Try my best to get closer with God, because this last year was a big disappointment for me in people. In people, and it's still, it's like the back of my head. It's like sometimes I want to cry about it, but it doesn't make sense. No, it don't make sense. People is gonna be people. Learn to forgive. Yes. And move on, because at the end of the day, I hurt people, you hurt people, they hurt people. Just move on and let this teach us lessons, sis. Yes. I know last year taught me and you a big lesson. Learning still. Move on. Are we perfect people? No. But we belong to God. Yes. We're God's children. Yes. All of us, even the ones that do some of the biggest wrong and causing all the uproar amongst the people, they still belong to God. So uproar. What I say? You said uproar. Uproar? Sorry. Yeah, even the ones who call all the what? Uproar. They are still God's people. Let's forgive. Forget. Listen what I just said. Forgive. Forget. Because if you don't forget, what will happen? You repeat the same thing. You repeat the same thing. You live in it. You dream it. You see them stab you 12 times over, all 10 years later. Yes. Forgive. Forget. Move on. And move on for Christ's sake. Yes. So your life could be better. Yes. I watch my mom. All I want is goodness. The best things in life for my mom. I'm going to sit here and live in disappointment and live underneath this thing, this cloud, this hate, this cloud all the time. No. Move on. Be better people. Oh my goodness. Be better people. And this is what I strive. Listen, there's people who are hurting, much less we're hurting. Yes. Move on and live good lives. Yes. Because there's people, like you said, that's hurting outside. They're dealing with abuse. They're dealing with drug addiction. They're dealing with sex trafficking. They're dealing with their children being murdered. They're dealing with major things. And you know what? As people who believe in God, we should be the salt of the earth, the salt that is applied to the wound to bring healing. Yes. And instead, we are here fighting one another, stabbing each other in the back. I don't even know you stabbing me in my back because I didn't know we had a problem. So, come on. This is 2022. I feel like this is the best time. This is the only time. The time we live in is the only time you have to reinvent yourself, not by yourself, but with God. Reinvent who you want to be. And I have a message too. I have a message. What's the message? Is it a good one? Yes. My message is, I understand that people have gone around and said, things about you, sis, right? It's an example, right? It's not an example, but I gotta say it in an example for all the people who are watching. You're watching, right? You talked about Vanessa, right? Okay. God will forgive you, right, Vanessa? You don't let that be a tool to hate on people, to get back at people, to diss on people. Let it go.
Yes.
But at the same time, you have to recognize too, Vanessa, have I done something wrong? You know what people don't recognize? Everyone want to pass blame to the left. You want to pass the blame to the left, like it's only the left was wrong. But it's not. It's not. Sit down, put your head on your pillow, and yes, think.
What did you do?
What did you do? I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Patrice, what did you do? What did you say? Why get lick up in my head? What did you do? Yeah. You have to think about that. Every action, there's a reaction. Because sometimes we play parts in these stories, and then when the story get blow up now, we take our hand out of it like we didn't do anything. But think on what happened, and ask God to forgive you for the role that you played.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that, and Amber could put I don't know how you say a link or whatever, but if you watch my previous videos to all my haters, that was the conversation. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What did you do? Why are people targeting you? Why are people talking about you? Why are people treating the way they're treating you? Is it something that we need to recognize that's within ourselves? And I am very good at taking maybe a little bit too much. I sit and I literally think, okay, what did I do wrong? And I told somebody this the other day. I'm like trying to figure out in my head, like, what did I do wrong? What am I doing wrong? What did I say? How am I acting? What is the root of it? And the person's response was, child, nothing. Go on and live your life, but I'm always trying to figure out things and trying to figure out, how can I be better? And I think at 41, that is my goal in life. So, for everyone watching, take time out. Like, I like to write. I know my sister said my poem was morbid. I'll share it with the, I will share it with a little, what do you say? The little blurb at the bottom that says, this is not a suicide note. Because it does, it starts off, the first line is, if you're reading this, I'm gone. So it sounds like, something someone would write like that. But to me, it was my way of expressing that I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to live this thing called life. It's rough out there. For those of you who are watching that are really dealing with situations, it's hard. No one can tell you that it's not hard. No one can tell you it's not rough, because you're the one dealing with it. So if you're dealing with something that is hard, that is rough, that is like, it feels overwhelming, acknowledge that it's overwhelming. Acknowledge that it's hard. Acknowledge that some days you don't want to wake up. Acknowledge all of that. But don't park there. Don't sit there. Don't dwell on it. Find someone to talk to that is a professional, whether that is a counselor, whether that is your pastor, your minister, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a friend that has some sense. Don't talk to everybody now, because some people just don't got no sense now. But talk to someone that can give you something that is going to make you realize that life is hard.
And don't talk to people who always tell you what you want to hear.
No.
That's why I talk to Vanessa. Yeah, because Vanessa will tell me, no, Pat, you were wrong.
Yes.
Then I have like a friend. Oh yeah, girl, child, you was right. Don't talk to her.
No.
Talk to the person who is going to tell you what you do not want to hear,
yes.
And the truth.
The truth. And say it in love. Because you know what? The truth does not have to be harsh. It does not have to be mean. It does not have to be deadly. The truth is connected to love. You know how I know this? Because God is love and God is truth. If the truth is coming all kind of ways, you need to find somebody else. But find someone. If you're at the moment where you feel like, you know what, I'm going to end this thing, reach out to suicide prevention. do something. This life is still worth living.
You get
with
up and you
all
eat
of it.
your ackee and your saltfish.
I'm telling
and
you.
you telling me life ain't worth living.
I'm telling you.
It's worth living.
Go grab a waffle.
Even if nobody like you.
It's still worth
living.
Yes, it's worth living. And I think that is what I have come to. I had a conversation one time with one of my sisters, and I was like, listen, child, I think it was Naria. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what we were talking about. I think we were talking about a news story that someone had gone missing, and the mother was like, no, she would never do that. And they found a note. She was like, nah, my daughter wouldn't do that. And I said, Riri, if something happened and they say, oh, Vanessa committed suicide, it's a lie. Find out who did it. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's never gonna be my First of all, I have kids, and they need their mama, child. I don't care how dark it gets, how bleak it gets. The sun, there's a thing that they're saying, it can't always, what you're experiencing, no matter what you're dealing with, no matter what you're feeling in this moment, get up.